Hello and welcome to Inside Nilds, the program that promotes the core mandate of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Nilds. The program aims to promote democracy in Nigeria through enlightenment on the advancement of capacity building in legislative and democratic engagements. Nilds is an organ of the National Assembly established by the Act of the Assembly on the 2nd of March 2011. I'm Okiri Agbonsuremi. Welcome again to the program. Since the inception of the current democratic governance in Nigeria in 1999, Nigerians have been grasping with capacity building in all areas of democratic practice. The needed skills in the operations of the legislature appears to be at the center of the required entrenchment of the technical and specialized skills for the practice of democracy.
In 1999, we had less educated people. We had less people with experience in any form of democratic governance at all. But over the years, that has improved considerably. We do need to continue to build on our capacity when the legislators come in to train them and retrain them. We build the capacities of the supporting staff. We certainly do need a lot more supporting staff than we have at the moment, but they also need to be trained over a period of time, and we need citizen education so that they can also assist the legislators and the parliamentarians carry out their jobs effectively.
Former President of the Senate, David Mark, stressing the need for capacity building for legislative aides. This consideration was what led to the establishment of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Nilds. Legislative business is indeed a serious affair, from drafting laws, engaging in debates, conducting oversight activities, including public hearings, oversight visits and inspections, as well as screening of certain categories of government appointees, as well as scrutinizing and approving annual appropriations. These are all hectic and very tasking. Yet, they are very vital aspects of nation building, which require knowledge and a wide range of competencies. The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Nilds, succeeded the Policy Analysis and Research Project, PAP, which was funded by the World Bank through the African Capacity Building Foundation, ACBF, between 2004 and 2011. Over the past 8 years, the Institute has provided technical support, capacity building, advisory networking services to the National Assembly.
The Policy Analysis and Research Project had been very effective, and its activities were appreciated by the leadership of National Assembly, and at the end of the day they found ways of establishing a permanent institution rather than being an intervention project. I was appointed as the project coordinator of the Policy Analysis and Research Project. So as the project coordinator with a governing council called the Joint Steering Committee, we midwifed actually the establishment of the Institute. The governing council of the Institute felt that with the prior experience, it would be best if I become the first DG of the Institute, so as not to lose tempo of work.
This institution is the baby of the House of Representatives. When I was Speaker in the House of Representatives, we used to send members to various places for seminars. We didn't have a National Institute for Legislative Studies. What we had then were foreign NGOs that were coming to conduct these kinds of seminars for us. That was the reason we took this initiative to have this institute. So as committee chairman, what my expectation is for you to be able to appreciate what we are doing today, to appreciate the institute, And for you to also be able to understand the perilous nature of our democracy today and support this institute in whatever endeavor.
At the inception of Nilds, we tried to spread the tentacles of the institute by building linkages with reputable institutions across the world. For instance, we signed an MOU with the School of Advanced International Studies of Johns Hopkins University in Washington, D.C. in 2012 to run Johns Hopkins Executive Education Program with a plan to ultimately raise basically credit-carrying courses with local content. The idea was a collaboration that would help to further address the capacity building needs of Nigeria and the ECOWAS sub-region.
In 2016, the Institute's Governing Council approved the establishment of a new Department of Democratic Studies, as well as a Department for Postgraduate Studies. On January 26, 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the National Institute for Legislative Studies Amendment Act 2017 into law. This expanded the mandate of the Institute to cover not only the legislature but also other democratic actors, including political parties, CSOs, media and political office holders, amongst others. This amendment also renamed the organization as the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Nilds. Over time, the Institute has discovered that demand-driven requests are meeting the immediate information and technical needs of legislators and committee have proven to be more appreciated and impactful. The Institute was designed to have a reach beyond Nigeria and target regional bodies like the ECOWAS Parliament and national parliaments in the sub-region and beyond. This gives the Institute an international dimension. Today, Nilds supports the sustenance of dynamic and effective legislature and legislation in Nigeria at federal, state, and local levels, as well as the ECOWAS sub-region.
Nilds, I think, will continue to improve on their activities. When they started, if you notice, they didn't have this much capacity. But over a period of time now, they're beginning to build the capacities of legislators. They're beginning to train legislators, and by bringing people from outside the country, a lot of Democrats who have had a long experience in democracy have also been coming to participate in seminars and in other fora that are organized by Nilds. So I think the future is bright.
I've been involved with Nilds before it was established, then at its conception and established right after it was developed. And then we were able to see them put together a series of conferences, and I have been in all three of them. The first one was more focused on how to be functional. And when they started out, their mandate was really to educate the National Assembly, the State Assembly, and the ECOWAS parliaments on operational and management issues of a legislative body. But then what I saw is I saw them becoming incredibly ambitious.
I believe that National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies under the present administration, I'm sure it will help the National Assembly to develop the virtues and competencies needed to take our government to the highest level. The Institute will serve as a hub in Africa if we continue developing it. Most other African countries will come and borrow a leaf from this institute.
The Institute operates on the basis of annual work plans, which are carefully developed in line with its 4-year strategic plan. Both documents are approved by the Institute's Governing Council and form the framework on which all its activities are anchored. Its Director of Admin speaks on the developments within Nilds as well as its strategic plan over the years and how the organization operates.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies is a process-driven organization. and it operates on the basis of annual work plan, which derives from the strategic plan of the Institute. The first strategic plan covered the period between 2012 and 2015. The plan centered mainly on capacity building programs for the National Assembly, ECOWAS Parliament, and national parliaments in the West African sub-region. The second strategic plan, 2016 to 2019, focused on deepening legislative development and democratic governance. The performance in the Institute has been outstanding over the years. The Institute has been meeting its targets for foreign training programs between 2012 and 2018. Sometimes targets were actually exceeded for national training programs for legislators. We have also been meeting our targets on the core operations at the Institute. Performance, as I said again, has been outstanding, as evidenced in the issues data, sector briefs, policy analysis, bill analysis, bills tracking, bills drafting that have been produced by the Institute for the National Assembly.
Training is one of the core, in my view, is one of the core departments here, because in as much as research is very important here and is in fact a core mandate in this institution, but it's the training that makes sure that whatever the research programs have come up with are being disseminated seamlessly to the stakeholders. Our department also is a platform for the coordination of the Institute's mandate, if you like, in the sense that all the research and all the departments that are in this institution also come to us for their, when their training needs come up, so that we can be able to put it through and make sure that it has gone seamlessly. And we also do trainings for, as part of our mandate, for other legislatures. For example, now we are going to do an induction. We're doing a preparation for an induction for the ECOWAS Parliament, which is, of course, 15 states of the West African subcontinent.
What we do here in the department is to provide legislative support for the National Assembly in all the range of legislative work that the National Assembly engages in. We draft bills for the National Assembly. We help to scrutinize bills that may have been drafted elsewhere. And then, of course, all bills that have been advertised in the journals of the National Assembly, we also subject them to bill analysis. The idea is to maintain a level of quality control and also assure that what we eventually come out meets with the end of promoting good governance.
Through its numerous support activities to the National Assembly, as well as the quality of outputs and the timeliness in dealing with requests from legislators, the Institute has built a reputation for itself as a center of excellence. In striving to achieve the highest standards, the Institute has collaborated with highly reputable international institutions and organizations.
Well, I know that Nilds has done an absolutely superb job in training staff and in acquainting members of Parliament with the job that they have, and then it's a question of also expanding the kind of the broader research capacity as well.
No single organization can take credit for this. Nilds alone cannot take credit. We had to work tirelessly with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have to work with the National Assembly, administration. We have a steering committee. Even the presidency assisted in no small measure. So it's a collaborative effort that produced this level of success.
Let's take a short break and we'll be back shortly.
The gravity of the coronavirus pandemic and its devastating effect on humanity is undeniable. The official global death toll from the coronavirus pandemic surpassed 2 million as at Friday, 15th January 2021. This shows that the virus continues to spread across the world as reported by the World Health Organization, WHO. In order for us to contribute our quota in curbing the spread of the virus, as well as overcoming this pandemic, we must work together to protect ourselves by strictly adhering to the health and safety protocols put in place by our frontline health workers as first responders. These are washing of hands regularly with soap for at least 20 seconds under running water, especially after you have been in public place, or after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. Frequent usage of hand sanitizers, wearing a face mask to cover the nose and mouth, maintaining social distancing by staying 6 feet away from others, avoiding poorly ventilated spaces. By taking these simple yet important measures, we shall surely overcome this ravaging virus. I am Abubakar Olanrewaju Suleiman. Please stay safe.
Welcome back from the break. Nilds' core mandate is to build the capacity of legislators, parliamentary staff, and legislative aides. It provides technical support to the legislature in Nigeria, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Parliament, national parliaments in the sub-region, as well as the entire continent. To this end, the Institute provides capacity building through activities such as trainings, exchange of experience visits, postgraduate programs, and high-level policy advocacy. Additionally, the Institute provides legislative support services to the legislature through drafting of bills, motions, briefs of argument, and technical input such as policy analysis, information briefs, research, and statistics. Some of the functions spelled out for the Institute by the Enabling Act and the 2017 Amendment Act include acting as the world-class multidisciplinary institution capable of providing training, capacity building, research, policy analysis, and extension services for legislature at the federal, state, and local government levels. How effective and result-oriented has Nilds been in delivering on its core mandate?
Nilds have cut down a lot of expenditures, on issues of, taking members abroad. And I also see Nilds as a resource center, because it's a research-based center. And I benefited a lot, aside my knowledge on other fields. I got my doctorate degree from public administration. But aside that, I subjected myself to take a course. I wanted to know, since 1999, I have been able to have practical knowledge of the institution. And probably I needed more broad knowledge on concepts and other issues, practice and procedures as, being practiced all over the world, globally. And I had to enroll into this. And I can bet you that I gained a lot.
I found the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies so useful to me that personally on any issue that concerns the working of the legislature, I run to Nilds. In fact, let me confess that even when I wanted to employ a senior legislative aide, I had to go and ask, to consult, because I needed somebody that would guide me, that will answer my questions immediately, or that will link me up to the National Institute for Legislative Studies immediately so that, I could get the required knowledge I wanted. I have benefited so much from the National Institute for Legislative Studies.
Perhaps the greatest achievements I have made in my 9 years in the National Assembly, I can attribute to a significant portion to Nilds by way of not just the formal training they offer, but the informal services
they provide. I can tell you categorically, I have taken a lot of issues to Nilds, particularly legal drafting, drafting of motions, over 100 over the last 5 years. And it is very enlightening that a lot of the things that I take is not only for them to contribute and put flesh to what I want, they try to do what is called legislative scrutiny, to inform me whether that bill is relevant or is not relevant, where it is supposed to be, if there are adjustments that need to be done, this is how it should be done. I think I have benefited tremendously from the services that Nilds have been given to members, which I believe without it, we wouldn't have been able to be where we are today.
We'll now take a short break again, and we'll come back shortly.
The gravity of the coronavirus pandemic and its devastating effect on humanity is undeniable. The official global death toll from the coronavirus pandemic surpassed 2 million as at Friday, 15th January 2021. This shows that the virus continues to spread across the world as reported by the World Health Organization, WHO. In order for us to contribute our quota in curbing the spread of the virus, as well as overcoming this pandemic, we must work together to protect ourselves by strictly adhering to the health and safety protocols put in place by our frontline health workers as first responders. These are washing of hands regularly with soap for at least 20 seconds under running water, especially after you have been in public place, or after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. Frequent usage of hand sanitizers, wearing a face mask to cover the nose and mouth, maintaining social distancing by staying 6 feet away from others, avoiding poorly ventilated spaces. By taking these simple yet important measures, we shall surely overcome this ravaging virus. I am Abubakar Olanrewaju Suleiman. Please stay safe.
Welcome back to the program. On the 28th of May 2019, the responsibility of managing the institute was thrust on Abubakar O. Suleiman, a renowned professor of political science and international relations, a former minister for national planning and deputy chairman, National Planning Commission, a technocrat and quintessential administrator. Professor Suleiman had spent over 2 decades in teaching and research at the University of Abuja before his appointment as minister in 2014. His appointment as the second Director General of the Institute was in consideration of his achievements, sterling qualities, visionary clarity, and academic pedigree.
I shall improve on the existing structures in academic contents, physical structures, and capacity building of legislatures and legislative aids. The academic component of our mandates will be developed to an enviable world-class standard. We will inculcate academic culture and expand and improve on the existing academic programs such that the quality of our researches will address the existing legislative and democratic challenges of our nation.
That's the program for today. Inside Nilds, we'll be back next week. I'm Okiri Agonsori.